standout across New Hampshire, making their 11th hour appeals, with the senator next door from Vermont, Bernie Sanders, extending his lead here and nationally. A new Quinnipiac national poll shows Sanders going from 5 points behind Joe Biden just 2 weeks ago to an 8-point lead over him.
Bernie Sanders is a frontrunner here in New Hampshire. After basically splitting Iowa with South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg, Sanders continues to pull ahead in New Hampshire outside the margin of error, and it's a primary that he won in 2016.
Every generation we got the naysayers.
I just have a different outlook, and I admit that if you're looking for the most years spent in Washington, I'm clearly not going to be your candidate. But I think this is a time when we need somebody who's ready to bring a different perspective. I'm no stranger to holding office. I'm no stranger to service, public or military service. But I am ready to make sure that we change the ways of Washington instead of accept them when there is such division, such dysfunction, and such frustration.
Who has had more attacks sent to them than anybody in the race by a factor of 5? Me. Because I've been the front runner, remain the front runner nationally. I got a target on my back.
He said he's leading nationally. Well, in this poll, he's not leading nationally.
Second poll, national poll in the last week.
Right.
That has had Bernie now ahead, not
And
Biden.
this has him losing what has been his base, the African-American support, which he's looking toward South Carolina.
Now, Steyer, however, is banking on a strong finish, not here in New Hampshire, but in South Carolina, where, believe it or not, he's been campaigning today. So Tom Steyer joins me now from South Carolina. Mr. Steyer.
Chuck, if you look at Nevada, I'm at second or third place there, too. And there we have a substantial ground game of people going door to door and talking to people directly. And the exact same thing is true in South Carolina. As you may know, I'm somebody who built one of the biggest grassroots organizations in the United States, Next Gen America. So I love grassroots. I love talking to people directly. I was doing it all last week in New Hampshire. I'm doing it today. I'll be doing it now to the end of this campaign. So in Nevada and South Carolina, we had a chance to build substantial ground games, and I think that's a big part of our success in both those states.
I want to give you a final moment to just make your closing argument to New Hampshire voters.
Sure. This is a state that believes in decency, and this is a state that believes that what unites us is bigger than what divides us. And so my pitch to New Hampshire is, if you're tired of the extremes in our politics and the noise and the nonsense, you have a home with me. And if you believe it is time to not just eke by a victory at 4 in the morning, but win big and bring with us the people that we need to build this big coalition of a fired-up Democratic base and independents and moderate Republicans, then vote for me.
I think we've got this unique possibility in 2020 to build an America that doesn't just work for a handful of folks born into privilege, but an America that works for everyone. We do that grassroots financing, grassroots organizing, grassroots democracy. And if you think that's the right way to do it, go to ElizabethWarren.com. Be part of this. Pitch in $5, do an hour of telephoning. But get in this fight, because this moment in history will not come our way again. This is our moment to dream big, fight hard, and win.
What do you think? Do you think the country's in a mood for an ideological revolution right now?
I think what they're in the mood for is the completion of FDR's New Deal, but a New Deal for the 21st century. And I say Bernie Sanders is an FDR Democrat. Here's what he's talking about. Everyone should have health care. Everyone should have education. Everyone should have basic child care. Basically the things that I had growing up. I represent Silicon Valley. Let me tell you, Bernie Sanders is not talking about nationalizing Apple. There's no way I could represent Silicon Valley and support him if that was the case. He's talking about giving people a basic shot at the American dream and fulfilling the vision from FDR forward.
So you had a situation where Buttigieg surged, actually took the lead in this tracking poll over Sanders before the debate, was up nearly 20 points over Amy Klobuchar. And in this tracking poll, over the course of the weekend, Klobuchar closed that gap with Buttigieg to 5 points. That's the late movement here over the weekend. And the question, Rachel, when I say there's some last-minute suspense, the question obviously is that a weekend blip? Did she get some favorable headlines? Did she get a little bit of buzz after that debate that's going to kind of wear off by primary day? Or is this something that was playing out over the weekend, playing out today, playing out tomorrow? And is there a rise there that we really won't know the full extent of until the results come in?